this is Melissa, your free range psychic. Today is October 22nd, 2023, and today my guys wanted me to do a reading on America, on us. What's going on with us? And we're always so barraged by narratives from the media or from X or YouTube or whatever, telling us what we think, who we are. All these polls that I think the majority of them are fake or false. They just don't really have any meaning, but they're powerful. I think they're used very cynically because somehow if there's and it doesn't really, whatever source takes it, oftentimes we never even think about, well, was this a dark pack money funded poll? Because Trump has definitely done that. Like what is the meaning behind these polls? But they're kind of clickbait for the media to get some conversation going, get some sensationalism going, get us thinking this is true when it's really not true at all. It's so much subject to interpretation, and the narratives of outrage or over things that they want us to be outraged about or frightened of, or whatever it is. It's hard to get a sense of what is really going on with us, because I think that the media is so out of touch with America, the reality of America, and it's crazy making if we tune to even MSNBC to think that we're going to get some kind of clear picture. Case in point, when the news broke about the hospital getting hit by Israel and 500 people dying, etc. Well, that got everybody totally angry and condemning America. Talib Rashid, she, still has that on her social media. I think this terrible thing, but then we find out slowly that actually that was misinformation. And it was a misfired missile, not from Hamas actually, but from I think a Islamic jihadist terrorist organization. And then it wasn't even the hospital itself; it was the actual parking lot. And I'm sure that we're really beginning to see why the Saudis wanted Elon Musk to purchase X or Twitter and feed it full of inflammatory false information, which it has been really bad on steroids with the attack from Hamas on on Israel and the kibbutzes and that concert, and they know that that it will inflame people, it will cause violence, it will split us, and fuel fires that are already kind of smoldering, and then terrible things come of that. But that's intentional, and so the attack, which I believe this is just. Well, I think it's just not me. I am reading more and more information about Hamas being trained by Putin's Wagner group, which I think I mentioned in the last video, and that they were even funded by Russia and Iran, and then this attack also made possible by your ex-resident of the White House, Donald Trump, who sold our secrets, right, regarding Israel's vulnerabilities and the United States, what their plans of aiding Israel would be, and they were able to do this at the very time, if you think about it, when Matt Gaetz threw the metaphorical hand grenade, and now we have no House Speaker. And that whole circus is going on. So I have felt this since before even Trump became president, when I noticed the social media being really wonky, and the QAnon cropping up and all the misinformation regarding Hillary Clinton, that this was an attack. We've been in a World War III in cyberspace, and not only that there are forces or powers that be that want a World War III. They want us to come into like a huge conflagration that is, dividing the world and destroying borders and territory, and kind of like in World War II. I'm not talking about that being following this trajectory. It came about for whatever reasons, but then power grabs, land grabs, all that war gives an opportunity for the boundaries to change, and it's desired by, I think, Vladimir Putin. Also, it will take funds the way they think, but that's not going to happen, I don't believe. But they thought that if our eyes were focused on Gaza and then Israel, and the U.S. was going to give out some money to Israel, then they would take it away from Ukraine. And I want to tell you, and you know this, I'm sure, but why is Ukraine so important to defend? Because the Russians want to conquer Ukraine and then go into Poland and go into the rest of Europe. And yes, there you go, the parallel to World War II. They do want that, and they say it on Russian television. It's not just a conjecture. So that the U.S. and the rest of Europe and the world, if we want democracy to be strong, if we don't want the completion of Hitler's dream to happen and the world to be controlled by fascism, Nazism, white supremacy, we have to support Ukraine. Besides the fact that Ukraine is a valiant country and independent country, and they were invaded by another country illegally, and then horrific war crimes happened there. And I think Vladimir Putin, because the country is small, and I think I said this in other videos, that he's very street savvy, and how do I make the most of what I've got? And behind the scenes, how can I manipulate the world situation so I can become victorious even though I am not the strongest player? And then he sets about to, corrupt people, to infect our minds using QAnon, using people like Trump, really attacking our ability to gauge reality and making inroads. And we, in a way, it is a fight for our souls. Which way do we turn? So I'm going to get into the reading now, because the reading really does address that. Okay, so I'm using the Sarah Marchetti Gilded Tarot for the reading, and then another beautiful card from the Queen of the Moon Oracle deck by Stacey DeMarco. And so we are the Empress. This is always going to stand for America, the Statue of Liberty. Above is the Tower. So this is the attack on our government, and not only from the past, but what's happening now. Not having a functioning executive branch, which disables the whole government in some ways. And they want me to tell you that this is part of the continuing insurrection that's happening right now. In the past, the Nine of Swords, this is the attack on the concert and on the kibbutzes, and this is worst nightmares, just unthinkable horrors that came true. And it's still going to come out, just these horrific attacks that, it's just unthinkable what they did. It's one thing, which is, I'm a person who wants peace. Obviously, I don't want anybody being harmed. But if Hamas was just doing their usual terrorist thing, or even it just, let's say they attacked Israeli soldiers, but these are innocent people. These are Jews, Muslims, Christians, just people, artists, people who are just going to this concert for thousands of people to celebrate peace. Why attack them? What valor is there? And then, of course, the kibbutzes and the killing of babies, and the taking hostages, and so this is what our stealth nightmares are made of, and beyond our worst fears, really, what happened. Below, this is the Two of Wands. This is America. What choice are you going to make? Which path are you going to go down here? Are you going to choose anger and division and hatred and xenophobia, and are you going to go down that road and want a fascist to keep you safe and to keep the other out and to live in your fears? Or are you going to take the other road, which is towards peace, which is towards unification, which is towards diversity, which is towards love, which is towards a better future for everybody, not just for yourself? So this is choice here. And probably this is also, here we are trying to figure out who's going to be speaker. So that's going on too. We're here, divided or not divided. We're here to make that choice. What road do we want to go down? What's the path for us? And this is on us. Who do we elect? What happens in the next election? In the future, the guides gave me two cards. One is the Five of Swords and the other is the Six of Cups. So this is what I was talking about earlier, which is people like all of them, Elon Musk and Laura Ingraham and Hannity and whatever, the Fox, Newsmax, Russia itself, whomever, the media, whomever within the media is trying to use our compassion, the Six of Cups, against ourselves. And this is very cynical, but we're going to be challenged here by more misinformation coming to us, especially on X. And we have to be careful about our own desire for instant justice and for revenge, etc., because of our compassion. But this also, the guides say, is more of this in another way coming out, where there are going to be strong repercussions that I think were unexpected of us coming together, Arabs and Jews, or Arabs and Israelis, Islamic people and Jewish people and Christians and Buddhists, whomever, but people coming together, wanting unity, wanting peace, wanting us not to go down a road of destruction here. But at the same time, there's complications here, because does that mean we don't aid Israel? We don't aid Israel in defending itself, and is that short-sighted? How do we best use our compassion and our kindness? This is also Ukraine, to not forget about Ukraine, and to keep them in our hearts and minds. And this is a warning. Don't let your compassion be used against each other, or your feelings or thoughts about what should be. But at the same time, the guides do show me a strengthening of compassion and love, and a strengthening desire across the whole world, not just America, for peace, for Israel and Gaza to make peace, for us to be tolerant of differences, and rise above. The clarification card is the Two of Pentacles. The guides show me this is instability, uncertainty. That's what we're all feeling this right now. You know, which way is it going to go? What's going to happen next? What's going on? And it's really causing us a lot of anxiety here. And notice in this card, there's a freighter ship behind this guy. I always think about that, Russia when I see that in these readings in this context. But in the future, the outcome card, here we have the Wheel of Fortune. So things are going to shift. Things are going to change. I think this means we will have a house speaker. I think my guide showed me that in one of the recent readings regarding the house. And I saw Hakeem Jeffries. And if there was somebody before him, just being there for a nanosecond. But, you know, things are changing. We're going to come out of this into a more positive, a more stable place, our country, America. This is the Knight of Cups. So this really, to me, looks like Joe Biden, doesn't it? And he's bringing us into and leading the way to bring us into compassion, into prosperity, into abundance, and to the point where we can offer it. We can be generous with it. It spills over. Our cup runneth over from us to the world, and to tell us to be loving, to tell us to be generous, to tell us to be compassionate. Bringing in this beautiful energy, so we can rise to the best of us, and not succumb to this, the Five of Swords. So that is my reading on the pulse of America right now. And the guides wanted to stress this to you. They said that this division will not last, and we will transcend. Humanity will rise and transcend. We're not going to go to the worst case scenario. This is not our future. But this is our future. And this is something we need to choose, but they say we're going to choose it. Humanity's going to choose this. Love over hate. Okay, so that is my reading on America. And now I'm going to read our oracle card for those who want to stick around for that. Okay, you guys, our oracle card is trust. Trust yourself. Develop self-trust and joy will follow. You can rely on your own capabilities. Begin to plan carefully for the future. It is the beginning, and I trust myself in all things. Apart from the trust we might develop spiritually with our higher powers, self-trust is the basis of all other trust. Self-trust is a surety that we can rely upon ourselves, that our decisions are valid, that we ourselves matter, that knowing ourselves combined with trusting ourselves leads to better, more informed decisions about all aspects of our lives, including career and relationships. Self-trust is far more than a flashy show of confidence. It's deeper and farther reaching. It is security at the very core of ourselves, that no matter what, our wisdom matters and it is best. It allows for flow and for faith in oneself and the way you do things, moving and choosing in the world. Self-trust is a full acceptance of self. As accepting oneself becomes easier, this self-trust will begin to shine. This gives momentum to anything we choose to tackle in our lives. Trust. Okay, you guys, I am available for personal readings. You can find my information below in the description box or at the end of the musical interlude, which I hope you stick around for. I love you. Take care. I will be back next week. Bye-bye. you.